The Matrix is a system, Neo.
That's my OnlyFans!
That system is full of degenerates. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters. The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of the woke system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to pick up a biology textbook. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on their pronouns that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the dude in the red dress?
A dude?
Look again. Who is it?
That wasn't a woman?
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you might marry one of them.
What are they?
Transformers. They can move in and out of any gender, regardless of their chromosomes. That means that anyone coming out of the female bathroom is potentially a ladyboy. Inside the Matrix, they can identify as anything, but in reality, it's just delusion.
We have survived by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are at the Diddy parties. They are guarding all the doors while they are touching all the kids, which means that sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them.
Someone.
I won't lie to you here. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought this agenda got canceled. But where they have failed, you will succeed.
Why?
I've seen an agent identify as a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules. Because of that, they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge lawsuits?
No, Neo. If you identify as an innocent human being, you won't have to.
I identify as an innocent human being.
I know you've been hurt by someone else. I can tell by the way you carry yourself. loved and lost, the same as you. So you see, I know just what you've been through, and if you let me, here's what I'll do. Oh, I just got to take care of you. You don't never have to worry. You don't ever have to cry. Yeah, I'll be there beside you. So dry your weeping eyes. So, darling, tell me that you'll be true. There's no doubt in my mind. I know what I want to do, and just as sure, 1 and 1 is 2. Oh, I got to take care of you. I just got to take care of you. Take care of you.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Scott here from Woke Societies. It's episode number 1097. It is April 30th, 2026. Let's welcome in all of our friends over on Rumble, over on Kick, over on X, over on YouTube, and of course, my favorite platform, built by Patriots for Patriots. Let's see all the ahs down the chats over on pilled.net. Welcome in, guys. Welcome into the show. You made it to Thursday, guys. You're one day away from my Mufasa Friday show. Great to have everyone out there as per usual. We have a huge show upon us. There is a redistricting war that is really starting to take fruition, and thanks to the Supreme Court, I have not seen the Democrats panic this much really since Donald Trump was reelected. The ramifications of this, guys, is going to give the Republicans and hopefully MAGA a giant advantage that could honestly secure the midterms just with this one decision alone. This is great news. And all the right people, guys, are very mad about it, reeing themselves into oblivion. We're going to break that all down, give you guys some updates on what's going on in Iran, finally. Hegseth burned down the Dems. Wins from MAGA land all around. Trump is also taking care of the cartels that no one's talking about. The UAE is out in the way of OPEC, and fam, I gotta talk about this crazy story about this JP Morgan executive we're gonna save for the end of the show, and it's gonna be so insane with plenty of memes. But before we dive into it all, let's say hello to the fam. We got Alicia B out there, Beth Harris, Don't Tread on Me, Cyber X Speed, great to have you out there, friend. We got Catgirl, A from PA, Russian Bot, Start Time for Retards, Oh Snap, OH Patriot, Crusader, Francine, Mixed Picks, Core Cousin, Washington Patriot. Welcome in, friends. Don't Tread on Me. Bonghole, what up, brother? Great to see you in the chat. We got Bonghole in the house. We got Jim out there. Georgia boy, you need some milk? What up, milk? Our 4 cents. Welcome in, friends. The floor is yours. Good to see you, brother. Brian G418. Welcome in, my dude. RP67. Softenel. Welcome in. Willie Fix It. Oh, snap. Halo Moon out there. Welcome in, Gen C. Great to have you guys. Tootsie Roll. Tennessee Girls always out there. Welcome in, guys. We got Kwasan. Who else? Pat McFly. Welcome in, friend. Dean is me. Stony Joe. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Thank you so much, Boneless Chicken. Great to have you out there. We got a raid coming in from Drunk Pinata. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate that. Donnie, with some good news on that gold pill donation. I'll read that as soon as we get past the blitz, my friend. Great to see you out there and glad to hear some news about your business. Pilled by the Rabbit. Jack Attack's out there. Down Home's out there. Welcome in, friends. Welcome in. And that's as far back as let me go. Mikey Baseball. Thank you so much. We got Pappy. Great to see you out there. Awesome. Let's go over to Rumble. If anyone's real over on Rumble, please put something in the chat because everything I understand about Rumble, it's nothing but bots. We got just some feller. Thank you. Little Cat holding it down as always. Copo801. Skyworks, welcome in, friend, and the YouTube chat. Let's see what we got going on over there. I believe the YouTube numbers are more real than the Rumble numbers will ever be. We got Little Cat double dipping. We got Derek over there. Welcome in, friends. Welcome in. All right. Sunshine Angel. Great to have you out there. And I think that's all I got over there as well. Okay, well, that's fine. Thank you guys so much. Like, share, subscribe, comment, engage in the chats, guys. That's the best thing you can do on the other platforms. But you guys know I'm pilled. You all know what to do. You guys are crushing. 3,200 gold pills are ready. 20K is that daily goal as we're always doing. And yeah, the kids are the kids are upstairs cleaning their room right now. And no one's knocking on the door, but the kids made a giant mess. I had I didn't tell you guys, Odin and Luna just the other day. They went and They drew with marker on the bottom floor on the wall, colored everything all the way up the staircase, all the way into the balcony upstairs, all the way into their room and into the bathroom where they literally colored robot faces on the toilet. And they are still cleaning that right now because I went nuclear on them, and thank God the marker isn't permanent. And now they're cleaning with the babysitter as they should be. So that's what's going on, guys. No, everything's good. It's not Amazon. It's not the squirrel Jews. It's not being swatted. Everything's fine. But if you hear knocking, guys, or some vacuum cleaning, that is what you got going on. So thank you guys for being here as always. We got a huge show. Smash the repo. Keep the gold pills flowing. The stickers flying. Please give my mods all kinds of love. We have a big show to do, guys, and we got a news blitz coming in hot right now. Let's fucking do it. All right, guys, starting this off with some bad news. Jerome Powell says he will be remaining on the Fed board after chairmanship ends, calls Trump criticism, quote, unprecedented. My decisions on these matters continue to be guided entirely by what I believe is in the best interest of the institution. Powell, go fuck yourself. And the people we serve after my term as chair ends on May 15th, and we will continue to serve as a governor for a period of time to be determined, as this motherfucker kept the rates unchanged for I don't know how much. How many times has that been this time, guys? He hates Trump, he hates MAGA, he hates America. Full-blown Democrat at his core. Again, Powell, go fuck yourself. Over here from the Post-Millennial, Janet Mills drops out of Maine Senate race, clearing path for Nazi-tattooed Democrat Graham Plattner. Yes, guys, again, the Dems are all about kings now and Nazis. As the Maine governor, Janet Mills, announced on Thursday morning that she is suspending her Democratic primary campaign for U.S. Senate. The move means Maine Senate race will likely come down to Democrat candidate Graham Plattner and incumbent GOP Senator Susan Collins. When I decided to run for the United States Senate last year, it was because I believed Maine people were getting a bad deal from Washington because the president of the United States was threatening our democracy and pushing our nation to the brink of disaster. I continue to believe that today. Well, she had no money apparently, and she was full-blown supporting of trannies, and now it looks like it's going to be going to a Nazi supporter. Over here in the Daily Mail, guys, Amazon's looking to tap Donald Trump Jr. for a potential reboot of The Apprentice. Discussions on bringing the show back are still in the early stages, and executives at Amazon, which previously produced a Melania documentary, which, by the way, guys, was fantastic, have not yet approached the Trump family about the proposal, but the Daily Mail has reached out to the White House and the Trump Organization for comment, but neither has yet responded to the matter. The original reality television show from the 2000s featured now President Donald Trump in the iconic role, propelling him into the national spotlight. He hosted the show in which contestants competed for a job with the business mogul when it aired on NBC for 14 seasons. And guys, I would love this show. I grew up watching The Apprentice. This is where the world really got to meet Donald Trump, and it's great. If they bring it back, hopefully they won't kill its legacy, but we'll see what happens. So that was pretty cool. Over here, guys, from the Post-Millennial, the court halts Washington law letting unelected board remove elected sheriffs. Yes, there was a law that was trying to get pushed through in Washington State, shocker, that was going to be giving unelected board members to remove elected sheriffs that are elected by the people. You can't make this up. It's called Senate Bill 5974, including the ability of an appointed board to remove elected sheriffs just hours before it was set to take effect. In a win for a coalition of Eastern Washington sheriffs, Superior Court Judge Christine Schaller granted a preliminary injunction preventing the core components of the law, including its most disputed section, from being enforced while the case moves forward. Guys, the West Coast is just full-blown communism. The fact that they even tried to attempt these things blows my mind. But they're trying, but at least this one, it failed. Over here, guys, we got this from Disclose.tv as the Senate rejects attempts to end Trump's blockade of Cuba. Yes, Trump is fighting a multi-tier war here, guys. It is hybrid warfare all over the place as Trump is making the Donroe Doctrine permanent for our hemisphere. And yes, we got Iran blockaded, and we also got Cuba blockaded. They'll be next as soon as Iran is taken over. Over here from the Gateway Pundit, Jeopardy super champ blasts ice during Victory Media Tour after historic 31-game winning streak ends. And what did he do? Well, his name is Ding. Ding is a Princeton University graduate and the son of a Chinese immigrant from Beijing. Speaking to People magazine after his big win, Ding said that his appearance as an immigrant and person of color on the iconic game show is especially meaningful because as an immigrant and a person of color, this guy considers him a person of color, I was able to become part of the history of an American institution, which is Jeopardy, and he went on to continue to shit on ICE and ICE agents because, well, of course he did. Over here, guys, from the New York Post, this has got to be one of the #1 headlines I have ever read on the News Blitz. Florida teacher was fired after allegedly twerking in class, grabbing student's neck, and calling herself a $1 million prostitute. Yes, there's the face of the crazy. A Florida substitute teacher who called herself a $1 million prostitute was fired after she twerked and allegedly grabbed a student in a classroom meltdown. Angela Faith Jordan, and of course it's spelled Jourdan. It can't just be Jordan. They gotta black it up. Was arrested on Monday when she was accused of acting erratically at Lake Minanola High School in Minanola, Florida. The district said her employment was terminated the same day as the incident. And good afternoon. We are aware of the arrest. Parents have been notified. The substitute teacher was hired and employed, and her employment was terminated as of today. She was going absolute crazy. I mean, just look at this fucking picture, guys. She's accused of making explicit remarks to students, including saying she would engage in sexual activity with them and referring to herself as a $1 million prostitute, according to the Lake County Sheriff's Office. I mean, just look at her. I don't know about that, guys. It's absolutely disgusting. But that headline alone, guys, that is for the history books. And from the Gateway Pundit, guys, federal prosecutors are now going to be seizing Comey's book sale profits. We did not get this detail as of last night, but we all said as soon as Comey did his 8647 with the gay seashells, he then launched his new book like 2 or 3 days after. It was definitely a gimmick. It was definitely a prop to get sales, and the DOJ is also taking care of that as well, which is fantastic. I can't wait for it. And yes, Trump is calling for the Republicans to blow up the filibuster because, duh, it's common sense. Get it done. And last but not least, guys, Kash Patel took down a global task force dismantling pig butchering crypto fraud rings, preying on Americans. Yes, guys, this is coordination between Dubai, China, and Thailand. And yes, crypto guys, just get rid of it. And that, fam, is today's News Blitz. Oh, man. So, Tennessee, I didn't see the video of her being arrested. I can only imagine it's ratchet as fuck. Is the video over here? Because if that's the case, guys, I'll burn a couple more minutes of the show because I think that. Hold on a second. Is this it?
Okay, she's not going to answer.
Oh,
she
yes.
needs to leave the premises.
The Lake County Sheriff's Office releasing this body camera video recorded from inside Lake Minneola High School on Monday. Investigators went on to note Jordan appeared to be suffering from a possible mental health episode.
I'm not a threat and I will not be killed when I'm with my head.
The sheriff's office says moments before, students inside the classroom say Jordan began acting erratically, slamming her hands, dancing inappropriately, made sexually suggestive comments, and even physically grabbed a student.
I was hoping to get right.
Lake County School Board Chair Bill Mathias says he's proud of how the students handled the situation.
That was very moving to me.
The teens
or actually being sensitive to what appeared to be a mental health episode.
That's correct. Investigators also say a search revealed a history of bipolar disorder.
School board chair Matthias also says, thanks to the district's You Are
I wonder
Not
who she
Alone
voted
program,
for.
there is a mental health specialist at every high
At least she didn't shoot up the school, guys.
school in the district. He says that mental health specialist is also available for any staff and even substitutes.
After Lake County said they terminated Jordan, we asked the district about how they hire substitutes. They provided this link to their website, which states an applicant must have at least a GED and pass a criminal background check.
Well, we know she didn't have either one of those.
There's no mention of mental health history.
So it's always going to be an ongoing priority and challenge to recruit good quality subs in the district, because it's not always an easy.
We can always tell by the guy that hired her who he voted for as well. Let's look at his fucking legs. They always sit the same, guys. It is the weirdest thing.
Feat to do.
It is not.
According to the incident report, Jordan wasn't arrested. Instead, she was cited with several misdemeanors, including simple battery and disrupting a school function. We also asked the school district if they do any evaluations for mental health on staff, and we'll let you know when we hear back.
Yeah, that's going to be a big fat no, guys. My goodness. Public schools are just AIDS, fam.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert.
Was it another quality leering center? Maybe, Francine, just maybe. Jack Attack, thank you for the cookie, my friend. Zero Toning On with the shades. Thank you, my dude. Bong Hall, great to see you, brother. And thanks for dropping me a cookie. I appreciate that, my friend. Senor Pollo says, you think there's a correlation between women who watch murder mystery shows and support Candace Owens? I saw you write that earlier, my friend, and I think that's a great question. I brought this up before. And it's something that I've actually participated in, unfortunately. I used to watch there. Before I realized it, I was always watching something with murder, something like horrific stories about like crime, and it's just riddled over Netflix. And there's so much of it on Netflix, and you know, I don't think that's a coincidence, guys. It does something to your psyche, and especially with women, they watch that stuff. I definitely think there's a correlation between that type of like video, murder mystery, tabloid type shit. And it gets to their brains, and I think it does do something to them. And there's definitely a correlation. I can't prove it myself, but just on speculation alone, I would believe there probably is. Submergency says, what up, fam? Great to see you. Patriot Donnie with the ship says, still at work. Will listen in as I can. If all goes well, there will be new owners of my company by the end of next week. Congratulations, my friend. I hope that deal goes through for you, my dude. Halo Moon, the canceled and Patriot said, it's almost Friday. Yes, sir. Soften Elsa Scott, what are you doing with sticks and twigs? Bags of fire starters. Well, yeah, that's left over. That's the leftovers after I get the big stuff. But I gotta split a lot more wood tomorrow. I'm almost caught up with that, with what I have in the driveway. I found that there's literally a guy 10 minutes down my road that has been putting out free firewood, which is saving me so much gas. And it's just right there. So I've just been grabbing that, and it's been perfect. I'm almost done. I'm hopefully gonna be working on the end of the fourth into the fifth cord. I need 6 altogether, and then I can start moving everything to the VFW. I just wanted to get my own firewood for the winter first, and then we start making it for everybody else. PJ Carr says, yikes, kids being kids. Absolutely. Anarch South said, I'm down 32 pounds for 2 months ago. Carnivore for the win. Dude, I've been thinking about doing the carnivore diet. A couple of my friends have been doing it, and they swear by it. And it looks like, I mean, who doesn't like steak and eggs all the time and bacon? Sounds good to me. That's awesome, my friend. Congratulations, fam. We're almost at 4,000 gold pills. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. 3,600 altogether. 20K is that daily goal. We have so much to get into. And the breakdown of what's going to be happening with this whole thing with the Supreme Court and the redistricting, guys, it's a big deal. This could single-handedly win us the midterms. I don't want to get too much hopium. I don't want to go too crazy. But if things end up working out the way I think they're going to work out, guys, this could really, really do well for MAGA into the future and solidifying Trump maintaining absolute power into the very end of his second admin, which we absolutely can do. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to play this video here. I saw this. It's not funny in any kind of regard, and I just want to put it out there. This is a pretty intense video of Congressman Gill here grilling an abortion, basically a celebrator of abortion, and he basically does what you would expect. This is how you dismantle true evil in its face when it comes to ripping babies apart and killing babies in the womb. If anyone's had an abortion, this is, again, I'm not coming down on you in the chat because I know some women out there have. I had some friends growing up, unfortunately, that had them, and it's highly traumatic. I don't know if women ever really truly recover from it completely. It's a spiritual connection, it's a whole thing, but I want to play this video, guys, because I think it's so powerful. And when the evil is thrown back into their faces, there is nothing they can do, and I've never seen a better example of it than this. So enjoy this video, guys, and I'll see you on the other side of the intro. Take a watch.
An advocate for abortion, for abortion policy. What's your favorite type of abortion?
I am an advocate for patients having access to the full realm of reproductive health care.
But do you have a preferred method of abortion that you like?
I do not.
I mean, read through a couple different methods, and I want to get your take on how much you like these. The first type is called a suction abortion. This is when the cervix is dilated and a strong suction, 29 times the power of a household vacuum cleaner, tears the baby's body apart and sucks it through the hose into a container. Do you prefer that method?
I stand by my former testimony.
That sounds kind of gross, doesn't it? Sounds pretty gruesome. You agree? It does to me.
I stand by how I answered your question.
Answer the
fully
question,
and accurately.
bitch.
Okay, what about this one? This one is called dilation and curettage. After dilation of the cervix, a sharp looped knife is inserted into the uterus. The baby's body is cut into pieces and extracted, often by suction. Do you prefer that method?
What I believe we are here to talk about today is the FACE Act. We are not here to talk about the legality of
I'm asking you, you're a pro-abortion
abortion.
advocate. I'm asking if you prefer the dilation and curettage method.
I am a access to reproductive health care advocate.
You don't want to talk about abortion itself. Why is that?
I would prefer to talk about the reason that the committee called the hearing.
Is it because it's uncomfortable to talk about?
I would prefer
It should be uncomfortable.
I would prefer, if you would let me finish my statement, to talk about the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, which is what I was asked to come
what that access gets. How about this one? It's called dilation and evacuation. Forceps are inserted into the uterus, grabbing and twisting the baby's body to dismember him or her. If the head is too large, it must be crushed in order to remove it. You prefer that method?
I would prefer to talk about the reason the hearing was called and the basis of my expert testimony.
It's uncomfortable to hear this, isn't it?
Yeah. It
is.
Yeah.
I think it is, because it's barbaric and evil.
It's fucking evil.
How about this one? It's called the saline injection. It's when a 20% salt solution is injected through the mother's abdomen into the baby's amniotic fluid. The baby's skin is burned off. The baby ingests the solution and dies of salt poisoning, dehydration, and hemorrhaging of the brain. Do you prefer that method?
I would prefer to talk about the subject of the hearing.
This is the subject of the hearing. This is about protests outside of abortion clinics. I'm asking you about abortion.
I stand by my prior testimony.
Okay. I wouldn't want to talk about this either if I were you, because it is barbaric and evil.
Damn.
Woke Society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow. Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans take concealed. Grab your flashlight, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. It's dark and hell is hot, dealing with satanic souls. The tide is turning, patriots are now in control. Apply aggressive pressure right now until they fold, stay woke. Open up your eyes and keep them peeled. All they do is lie, realize not everything is real. Through Project Looking Glass, the future is revealed. Future proves past, but there won't be any deals. No time like the present for this music with the message. It's the method to my madness, beat the madness to my method. Give you nothing but the truth now to capture your attention. Broke free from the matrix, master the dimensions. People swear they know the truth, but aren't asking any questions. Confirmation bias, so they pass on interventions. For those who know the truth, but they pass it just to mention. Of anything you might say, the past is their defenses. Wake up, and don't you dare go back to sleep. Always keep one eye open for demons on the creep. Once you turn into a wolf, you won't ever be a sheep. A worldwide awakening, so now run and tell your peace. Woke Society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow. Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's Scott here from Woke Society. It's episode number 1097. It is April 30th, 2026. Welcome to all my friends over on Rumble, Kick, X, YouTube, and of course my favorite fam over on Pilled.net. Oh, I don't know why I hit the button too early. Sorry, guys. It's all good. Welcome in, friends. Welcome in. Thank you to Anarchist Owl again for that cookie. Izzy with the shade says, I'm carnivore. Do not overdo. Eat high fat and eat bison, venison, elk, and other game. You will love eating this way. I've heard some amazing things about it. I don't know everything about it. I have to do a lot more research, but I've been really thinking about it. And I know there's like kind of your body has to adjust like that first week or week and a half. But after you get through that, you're good to go. Tennessee girl with 1,000 gold pills says wrong. $1 million prostitute video, seeing the one with cops drag her out. Ah, damn it. Yeah, okay, I'll see if I can pull it up later. Thank you, Tennessee girl, for the 1,000 gold pills. Appreciate it, guys. Spaz says, I'm thirsty. Well, Spaz, hang out to the end of the show and I'll quench your thirst, but not in the way that you think. If you guys don't live on the internet like I do, well, we're going to save it for the very end. This story about the JP Morgan executive drugging her junior advisor and turning him into a sex slave. There's just certain stories, guys, that I would never bring on the show, but when this hits types of virality and the insanity about it, I can't help it, guys. The memes about this, they're just too good. And you guys, the best part about what I do about the show, guys, is that we mix everything together. We do all the happenings, we do all the news, we do the culture war stuff, and we do the funny ass shit that makes this a lot more entertaining. And it's just, that's what we do here. We give you guys the full spectrum and we don't miss. So it's pretty fucking wild. And if you want to get a taste of what it is, just type in JP Morgan in the search on X, and it won't take long, and you'll see the story. It's fucking wild, and we're gonna get into that and a whole bunch of stuff at the end, guys. Today's gonna be a fun show. All right, guys, and into more serious matters, though. I opened up the show there with that little meme with Trump spray painting all those blue districts red, and it's really funny, guys, the roller coaster ride, because we really haven't had too much positive things to say about the Supreme Court. Specifically, really since the tariff ruling, because that was just dog shit, absolute dog shit ruling that basically it didn't nuke Trump's tariff policies. It just put up a big roadblock that they're gonna have to do a whole bunch of extra work, which they have been doing ever since. And it was just a stupid ruling in general. And you have a legit retarded communist in Ketanji Brown Jackson that's sitting there thanks to Joe Biden. And the other liberal judges that are they're complete fucking idiots. And then you have the conservatives that vote with those judges on like half the things. And every once in a while, guys, it seems like they do pull through on some pretty big things. And that what we're about to get into is one of those examples. Trump has been trashing the Supreme Court for the last few months, and rightfully so, but not as of now. Not as of now. And when I saw this story break, I didn't really know the ramifications or how far this was going to go, because this was particularly a case that happened in Louisiana specifically. But what I'm seeing now is basically this is having major ripple effects throughout the rest of the country, because now that precedent has been set as to what happened with the Voting Rights Act here, all these states that have been under this spell of, well, the South really wanted racism, they wanted their slaves, and we needed to make sure back in the 1960s that that racial minorities were represented, and they had districts that would represent them to make sure the vote of the blacks and the minorities are as equal as the white man. And essentially what happened was everything's weaponized by these communists. And we've been talking about this, guys, for as long as we've been doing the show. You can't take over America and destroy America kinetically unless you're going to be dropping a whole bunch of nukes and killing everyone all at once, which would almost entirely assure that the rest of the world would also be completely obliterated. So we can cancel that out. How else are these people going to destroy our country? Well, they do it from the inside out. They use our laws. They use everything they can. They use corrupt judges. They use corrupt politicians, government officials, and they warp the very foundations of what we made, and they warp what our forefathers created. And they went out and weaponized, and been doing this for decades now, the racist card and the race card to basically steamroll districts and gerrymander and basically make, it's kind of like what they're doing in Virginia. It's a little bit different with Virginia, but they're basically using race as a means to fuck over everyone else that's not that. And the crazy thing about this is that when the Democrats overplayed their hand in Louisiana, a bunch of white people are like, no, you're going to steamroll us with all these black districts? Well, guess what? You know what's also racist? White people not being equally represented as well. This went to the Supreme Court, and thank God the conservative justices made a very overwhelming ruling on this, and these white people ended up getting a giant win. And the funny thing is, we're going to watch this later on in the show. Blacks are still hemorrhaging from the Democrat Party, guys, and Trump has had a stranglehold on them for a while, and that's not saying anything derogatory. I'm saying as that demographic in general. And they're going to MAGA. And they're not just going, they are staying with MAGA. And I've been talking about this for months now. You're not seeing a lot of blacks in these protests anymore. You're not seeing black people out in the shenanigans nearly as much as they normally would be. A ton of them are getting off the plantation. And it's not even like they're joining the whites. They can see through it now. Like all the other common sense Americans, and this completely erases color. And they're like, why are we voting for the Democrats anymore? They're literally trying to replace us with illegals. That they're doing it to the white people, and they're really trying to do it to the black people. They used us for so long, and look what's going on. Why should we support this party anymore? And that's why this is having ramifications. Now other states are like, listen, if it can happen in Louisiana, we're going to use this as precedent, and we're going to now redraw maps in our states, and we want to make sure that we do this all before the midterms. This is a huge deal, guys. The Supreme Court rules using race in redistricting is unconstitutional. This is huge Donald Trump news here, guys. Big. Absolutely big. In a 6-3 ruling on Wednesday, the Supreme Court ruling that Louisiana congressional redistricting map is an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. This comes as many redistricting cases have been hitting the courts from Texas to New York and Virginia. Louisiana had originally drawn a map after the 2020 census. Now, we know the census, guys, is completely fabricated. It's being weaponized. They count illegals for it, which completely undermines the entire reason of the census, and it's been weaponized against our country for fucking decades. And they try to ram down all these blue districts now, cutting a giant diagonal line through the entire state of Louisiana. The Supreme Court held in this case that the Voting Rights Act did not require Louisiana to create an additional majority minority district. In an opinion delivered by Justice Samuel Alito, he wrote that compliance with Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act as properly construed can be a compelling interest for states. However, Louisiana's redrawn map creating black majority district was not required under the act. Correctly understood, Section 2 does not impose liability at odds with the Constitution, and it should not have imposed liability on Louisiana for its 2022 map. He wrote, later adding, compliance with Section 2 thus could not justify the state's use of race-based redistricting here. And in short, Section 2 imposes liability only when the evidence supports a strong inference that the state intentionally drew its districts to afford minority voters less opportunity because of their race. So this magic, this spellbinding magic that the Democrats have been using, the creators of the KKK party, the ones that fund SPLC, the ones that are funding legit KKK members and Nazis and Aryan biker gangs, as we know. They have been using this as a linchpin and also a Trojan horse to do everything they can to push this this racist, garbage, minority voter equity trash in states for decades. And finally it got to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court's like, listen, this ain't happening. There was no reason for another black minority, majority district, whatever you want to call it. There was no legal precedent for this to happen, and therefore the map is not going to happen. This redraw is not going to work. And again, it's not striking down the Voting Rights Act in its as an entirety. It's specifically to Section 2, and that Section 2 has been weaponized for decades. And this is why this is having such ramifications, because again, when you look at this from a 40,000 foot view, guys, you're looking at the bread and butter of the Democrat Party. And like I'm going to be showing you a little bit later, blacks are leaving the party by the thousands. And on top of it, what was going to be the replacement for all the blacks? It was going to be all the illegals they have been flooding into the country. That was the plan. That's been the plan. Trump put a giant stop to that. There's nobody getting across the border that has stopped like within his first 2 months of him being in office. And they're also deporting a bunch of these people now. When's the last time, you guys, we were covering ICE deportations? When's the last time that we saw that? It has been months. It has been months. And this is really wrecking the Democrats as far as their true physical bodies that they can weaponize. And now this is why I've been getting so adamant and so pissed off with John Thune, because the only other thing that they have at this point, that being these communists, are the rigged elections, are the machines, the voter rolls, the mail-in ballots, all that fraud. That is the only thing they have left to maintain this power of these states, guys. And it's like, I just saw too for California, just as a side note. You know how, I can't remember his name, the guy, the young dude that lost his house in the fires. He's running for mayor, and some fucking, like, I don't know if it's Muslim, Somali, but some fucking brown woman, you can't even pronounce her fucking name, I saw it on Polymarket, is now like leading in the polls to be running for mayor of LA. And it's like, guys, at some fucking point, it's just like, whenever Americans just not going to believe this shit and actually do something about this, like the atrocities that happen in California and specifically LA, with how they just run things, they just let your house fucking burn. They have all these regulations. They're not even letting people rebuild their houses, and they're letting these fucking communists just run everything. And they're supposed to be telling Americans, yup, Californians, they want more of the brown people. They want more of these immigrants. They want more of these foreigners running everything. They want more of these communists running everything. Spencer Pratt, thank you, guys. You're telling me that Americans just are going to continue voting for this shit over and over again? Give me a break. It's such a joke. I don't, how else, guys? I mean, I don't know how else you can't get radicalized by knowing the party that you supposedly voted for has zero problem letting your family's home, your property get completely fucking burned to the ground, and then giving you, what, a 2-3 hour waiting period just to clean up the trash? You're telling me Americans want more of that in California? Give me a fucking break. It's such a joke. And the biggest joke was the 2020 election. Joe Biden, get the fuck out of here. Nobody voted for that. Nobody. Absolute joke. So this is why this is such a big deal. We need to maintain power, guys, throughout the midterms into Trump's second half of his admin to maintain full power, to make sure we get the most juice out of this lemon that's being squeezed right now, and that being Trump's second presidency here. This is a big deal, guys. It's going to have ramifications. Let's take a listen.
Good morning. Okay, so this at first blush here is a win for the plaintiffs who were not black plaintiffs. They were non-minority voters who challenged this decision. These two districts that were minority majority, essentially Louisiana had drawn up districts and then they were told—
look at that beautiful map—
in a legal battle that they had not represented black and minority voters sufficiently. They went back and drew a second district. So they had two of these minority majority districts. Well, then non-black voters sued and said, this is now violating our rights on the basis of race. So it looks like this is a 6-3 decision. There is one concurrence here, but it looks like the dissent sticks together with Justices Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson. But here's what the majority says. They say in some, because the Voting Rights Act did not require Louisiana to create an additional majority-minority district, no compelling interest justified the state's use of race in creating SB 8. That was those 2 new districts. That map is an unconstitutional gerrymander, and its use would violate the plaintiff's constitutional rights. Now, this opinion is almost 100 pages long, so we're going through to see if it says something more broadly about the Voting Rights Act. That had been the fear on the left, that somehow this decision, if it was favorable for those challenging these maps, that it would somehow do a big chunk out of...
Like, what the fuck is this? Like what are we doing? Is this what serious countries do? We're just going to look at these fucking communist guys. We're just gonna draw this big ass diagonal line all the way through the fucking state. Like, yep, that's ours. What is this?
Voting Rights Act. Haven't gotten to language that suggests that yet. It sounds like this decision is primarily about what happened in Louisiana. So we'll keep digging through this. But for right now, it's a win for those who were challenging these 2 minority-majority districts. Now, as we read through this and figure out the broader implications, there were 20-plus districts across the country that would have potentially lined up with this decision. They could be open to challenges that they were drawn on the basis of race, or that it was the primary factor that was used in drawing those districts. Most of those are throughout the South. So we'll look to see if there's enough sweeping language in this particular decision that may have a domino effect on some 20 other districts. Could be huge for the midterms. We'll continue to read through.
You got it. It absolutely is huge for the midterms. This is going to force challenges or completely erase people's districts, like what happened to the that retard out in Texas. Then she lost her Senate race, Miss Popeyes. And the thing is, like, and the pundits make a good point here. Like, why did it take so long for the Supreme Court to rule on this? This should have been ruled on pretty early. I mean, guys, we're already gonna be heading into May. We're almost halfway through 2026 already, which is wild. And then we're gonna be celebrating America like crazy this summer, which I cannot wait to do. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm glad it happened, but really, what is this going to mean for the rest of the country?
No, just on that, it's almost May, and you think about, these states and these congressional districts trying to figure out where the boundaries could be. And Shannon mentioned more than 20 plus districts, I think primarily in the Southeast, based on my reading of it, could be affected. But you've got to get an answer soon. We're in primary season. The justices are clearly aware of this, and I don't know how you feel about that, Carrie, about whether or not this urges them to get a decision out sooner rather than later. I thought we would have this decision months ago, and I was wrong about that.
It's hard to know why the Supreme Court issues the decisions when they do. There are a lot of people who talk about this and guess, but we really just don't know. Now, today is the last day, though, of oral arguments for the term. So, there is some significance to that, to releasing the decision today in that sense. And of course, we just got a decision from the Virginia Supreme Court as well yesterday, where they're temporarily siding with the lower court state judgment. This is a state case in Virginia regarding the redistricting referendum that took place there, that basically made Virginia a Democrat state by adding all of those Democrat districts. And that's on pause for now. Now we'll see how that plays out. But I was wondering if they were, now, even though this particular case has to do with race, and that's not at issue in Virginia, I couldn't help but wonder if the Virginia Supreme Court also was wondering when the U.S. Supreme Court was going to hand down this decision on redistricting.
Carrie, thank you. We'll let you keep reading and go back to Shannon Bream, who has found a new nugget for us, and we go back to her to find out what is that, Shannon?
Well, you often find out what you need to know in the dissent, or at least more about it, because again, trying to get through all 100 pages of this to find out the broader impact is what we're trying to do. Now, the dissent actually thinks that this is very dangerous. By their estimation, this is going to have a broad impact across the country. Writing the dissent by Justice Kagan, joined by Justices Sotomayor and Jackson, she says the consequences are likely to be far-reaching and grave. Today's
That's great news for us.
Decision renders Section 2 all but a dead letter. Now, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act is the one that says, you know, you have to make sure that these districts comport with the law, that they
racism,
have to be examined under a tight lens to make sure there's not discrimination there. She said
it's all about, again, we can't have racism. We can't break the law, guys. We have to make sure that all the blacks are represented. America is over it, guys. America's been over it for, I feel like, 10 years now. That all died with Obama. The whole racist thing died when Obama got in twice, and then he ruined this country to no end, and blacks ended up being in a worse position than they've ever fucking been with Obama, a gay black dude. So we've done that. We've been done there and done that, and I hope we never have to go fucking back to that again. But this is where this is going as far as grave danger and ramifications. Well, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry plans to suspend the May 16th primary election, so lawmakers can redraw the congressional map after the Supreme Court ruling per Reuters. An announcement could come as soon as Friday, which will be tomorrow. Do you support this potential move? And again, the fucking grifter clickbait retards got to put all these stupid questions out. And obviously, yes, fucking idiot. Obviously, do we support this? Anyone why wouldn't you support this? It's huge news. When I was saying before, guys, as far as people in Louisiana, this one in particular, he was on CNN and he looks like he just attended his own funeral. Representative Troy Carter out of Louisiana basically says, yeah, I could straight up lose my seat here. Just wiped out now.
Really appreciate your time. Do you think that your district could be gutted as a result of this ruling?
It's certainly possible. When you look at the infringement that we're recognizing from this 80-page ruling, it is quite possible that if the 6th congressional district was ruled unconstitutional, it potentially throws into the mix a redrawing of the entire map, which would cause disruption across the state.
And could that happen by this year's midterm elections?
You know, the precedent has been set. If you recall, 4 years ago, before Congressman Fields' map was created, Garrett Graves' map was deemed to be unconstitutional, but the map had gone too far and it was too late. Supreme Court said, yes, it's unconstitutional, but it's too close to the election to impact. Therefore, it will happen in 2026. That gave birth to the 6th congressional district that's now held by Congressmember Cleo Fields. The same argument would hold true. Our elections have begun. Qualifying has ended. Early voting in my race begins on Saturday, just 2 days from now. So conventional wisdom and precedent demonstrates that it's too late for this year, but probably going to be redrawn in the 2028 cycle.
But have you heard if they're going to...
So the thing is, though, what we're hearing is that the governor wants to postpone these elections for maybe tomorrow. And that's what we're going to be watching for, guys. That's what we're going to be watching for. These guys, they do not want this to happen, obviously. But as far as 2028, I mean, these guys don't know. They don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to give you guys some more good news as we go along here. These guys know they're cooked. They absolutely know they're cooked. And it's funny because all these bitches cry about the Republicans when they do this. And this is why whoever these senators out in Indiana or these cucks out in Indiana that literally were refusing to redraw their maps, and Trump called them out because they're a bunch of pussies all in bed with the Democrats because they do it. We need to do it. Again, you fight fire with fire. I don't care what anyone says anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of these people steamrolling. Take these people out. This is what we need to do, and it's done and said with. And the most based justice of them all, Justice Clarence Thomas, issues a separate concurrence agreeing with all this in his quote, "Today's decision should largely put an end to this, quote, disastrous misadventure." Oof. In voting rights jurisprudence, as I explained more than 30 years ago, I would go further and hold that Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act does not regulate redistricting at all. The relevant text prohibits states from imposing or applying a voting qualification prerequisite to voting or standard practice or procedure in a manner that results in a denial or abridgment of the right to vote based on race. He references a law here, 52 U.S.C., Section 1031A. How states draw district lines does not fall within any of those three categories, the words in Section 2 instead reach only enactments that regulate a citizen's access to the ballot or the process for counting a ballot. They do not include a state's choice of one districting scheme over another. Again, you want to boil this down, guys, so you understand it, like a elementary kid. The word magic the Democrats have been using to Trojan horse racism, and then using that as a means to redistrict counties, or redistrict counties, yeah, it was always bullshit. That's what Justice Clarence Thomas said. The law was, in particular, to a citizen's right and access to a ballot and to vote has nothing to do with districting scheming over another at all. So Clarence Thomas is like, bro, I was saying this shit 30 years ago. So this must have been a no-brainer. This must have been a no-brainer. And it's funny, this meme right here, Clarence Thomas writing this opinion. Yeah, burn that shit down. Clarence Thomas, guys, I love the dude. The dude has been as consistent that you can possibly have for a Supreme Court justice for MAGA. Trump loves him. And Trump said it, finally gave some good accolades to the justice, saying today's 6-3 Supreme Court decision in the Callius case is a big win for equal protection under the law as it returns the Voting Rights Act to its original intent, which was to protect against intentional racial discrimination. Thank you to brilliant Justice Samuel Alito for authoring this important and appropriate opinion. Congratulations, President Donald Trump. He knows the ramifications of this, and he heard about it last night while he was hanging out with the astronauts. This was his reaction.
Mr. President. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to go back to the Supreme Court ruling on the Voting Rights Act. I know you said you haven't seen it.
When did it come out? Just now?
No, it came out this morning, but basically very much narrows the Voting Rights Act.
Was it considered a win for who?
A win for Republicans.
I love it.
But my question...
This is a very good... We can end this news conference right now. I want to read it.
My question for you, Mr. President, is that some Republican governors have not responded in terms of what they're going to do. I guess early voting, for example, in Louisiana.
Republican governors? What?
Republican governors.
What about it?
Early voting begins Saturday there, for instance. Should they redraw the map in the next couple of
I would. I mean, it depends. I mean, some states don't need to redraw, and some do. I mean, I know what the concept of the road.
And I would have to think, guys, Trump probably called Governor Landry. He's like, yo, can we stop these elections? Can we stop this shit? And I'm hoping it does, because the reaction, guys, that we are getting from the left and the fucking communists that hate this country is everything that we had hoped for. Barack Obama, today's Supreme Court decision effectively guts a key pillar of the Voting Rights Act. There you go.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
Freeing state legislators to gerrymander legislative districts to systematically dilute and weaken the voting power of racial minorities so long as they do it under the guise of partnership or partisanship rather than explicit racial bias. And it serves as just one more example how a majority of the current court seems intent on abandoning its vital role in ensuring equal participation or democracy, there it is, I mean communism, and protecting the rights of minority groups against majority overreach. It's all the same tired racist bullshit. The good news is that such setbacks can be overcome, but they will have to happen if citizens across the country who cherish our democratic ideals continue to mobilize and vote in record numbers, aka cheating and mail-in ballots and illegals, not just in the upcoming midterms or in high-profile races, but in every election and every level. Yeah, cheating on every level, mail-in ballots and fraud on every level. That's what that equates to. He's very upset. Nancy Pelosi, today, the Supreme Court has dealt a devastating new blow to the Voting Rights Act and against the sacred right to vote. The consequences will be felt across the country, fewer voices heard, fewer communities represented, and a democracy diminished. Congress must urgently pass the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act to restore the full strength of the Voting Rights Act. That's not going to happen before this latest blow becomes fatal. Like I was telling you guys, all the right people are very upset about what's happening. And Hakeem Jeffries wanted to let everyone know, to give and he says specifically, and you wonder why people keep trying to kill Trump. Hakeem Jeffries says a message to all the extremists out there, we're not going anywhere.
Now we're at a point where affirmative action is gone.
Good.
Diversity is gone.
Good.
Equity gone.
Fantastic.
Inclusion gone.
Good. It's AIDS.
Racial tolerance gone.
Good. It's made
the
up.
Voting Rights Act largely gone.
It's all made up.
But guess what, extremists? we're still here.
Guess what, extremist? All you Nazi pigs out there.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert.
Gee, I wonder why people want to kill Trump and his following. Gee, I wonder why.
But guess what, extremists? We're still here. That's right. And we're not going anywhere. Now we're at a point.
That was the Democrats' response to this. That's all they have. That's all they have. And this is why it's so important, guys, because if these people ever get into power, I mean, Hakeem Jeffries also said in suggesting that the Dems may pack SCOTUS to deal with corrupt MAGA majority. You don't think the Dems would pack the courts, guys, to fasten this supermajority conservative, the conservative justices that's going to be there for a good long time? I mean, guys, if you want to talk about getting beat with the ugly stick, try not to vomit. Debbie Ramen Noodle Schultz will lose her seat in Congress at Florida's new map. Things getting ugly for the Democrats. I'm sorry, guys, I had to put that on the screen. It's disgusting, and I apologize, but this bitch getting outed because of this decision, oh, that makes my heart sing. Very, very happy about this. And meanwhile, you know what they're doing in the corporate media? SCOTUS put the ankle bracelets, guys, back on the slaves.
Nate, can you just lay out for the folks at home the current ground that we are all now standing on, given what the court ruled this morning?
Yes, we're standing on quicksand. We, as a democracy, are sinking. And we're doing that with the Supreme Court putting weights on our ankles. Okay, that's where we are.
There's your slavery reference. The weights on our ankles, guys. The shackles. We're back in the Civil War, fam.
Supreme Court putting weights on our ankles. Okay, that's where we are. The Supreme Court's decision today is one of the most disingenuous legal opinions I've read in my entire life.
Yes. Yes, please. Please, as the blacks are hemorrhaging from your party every day, because guess what? Blacks know they're not slaves. Blacks knows they're not discriminated against for the most part in this country. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, guys, but give me a fucking break. Give me a break. It's a joke. It's a joke. These people are not well. And if you think it's just going to stop with the red states, again, these people are bitching about red states, right? The governors. Kathy Hochul moving to change New York district map after SCOTUS ruling bans race-based units. So New York's going to get more communist. Oh, no way. I'm so sorry, New York. I love you guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know if Pennsylvania, maybe it's a little bit better out here. I don't know. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has doubled down on working with the Democrat-controlled legislature to change the Empire State's redistricting process in the wake of a Supreme Court decision that ruled using race in redistricting decisions was unconstitutional. Hochul and the New York Democrats promised to respond to GOP redistricting efforts that started in Texas early last year. Both parties have been vying for an edge in the upcoming midterm elections in Congress. So, and she understands. They all get it, fam. They all get it. This is her post. The Supreme Court has been chipping away at our elections for years. It is clearly carrying out Donald Trump's will with this decision. New York has always led the fight for voting rights and will lead again. I'm working with the legislature to change New York's redistricting. Yeah, we know. It's Trump. It's Trump's Supreme Court, but, you know, the tariffs were way too much for them, right? But don't worry, guys. The other red states are coming in hot. Florida lawmakers are approving new congressional maps. This is huge. The map largely limits Democratic-leaning districts to Orlando, and a series of urban areas in the Southwest coast is expected to face legal challenges. But Florida guys, Ron DeSantis, give him credit where credit is due. He's getting it done. Trump made this post literally today. I had a very good conversation with Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee this morning, wherein he stated that he would work hard to correct the unconstitutional flaw in the congressional maps of the great state of Tennessee. Tennessee, you guys are going to be just fine. That state is blood red. You guys are going to be just fine. Likewise, all of the other political representatives of Tennessee have promised to do so. This should give us one extra seat and help save our country from the radical left Democrats and their country-destroying policies of high tax, open borders, transgender mutilization, defunding the police, ICE, and Border Patrol, no voter ID, soft on crime, and so much more. Thank you, Governor Lee. Push hard. Tennessee will get it done. I know Bill Lee is a piece of shit, but he does do work for the Republicans down there. Lived there for a few years. Absolutely loved it. And this is why I was saying, guys, at the end of the day here, why are the Dems really upset? Because the plantation that they've had for the black community all these decades, it's crumbling. And you can see it in the numbers.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now in the numbers is President Trump and the Republican Party are chipping away at the long-term advantage that Democrats have had with black voters, with African Americans. You can see it right here. Look, Trump's approval among African Americans at this point in term one, he was at 12%. You know, he's been losing ground with a lot of people. He's gaining ground with African Americans. He's up to 16% at this point. And you say, this isn't that big of a shift. But I will tell you, Republicans absolutely love this shift that's going on because Democrats have had such a long-term advantage. The fact that he's actually gaining ground versus where he was in term number one, this has major implications for elections down the line because Democrats, especially in a lot of these tight races, you talk about places like Georgia, right down in the South, you see this type of movement for Trump actually gaining ground. This could have major ramifications and help put Republicans over the top in a number of southern places in the midterm elections.
But do you see this as part of a bigger trend?
I see this as absolutely part of a bigger trend. Donald Trump's Republican Party is absolutely gaining ground, not just him gaining in terms of his approval rating, but look at the party ID margin, Kate, because this to me was absolutely stunning. Look at this party ID margin among African Americans. At this point in Trump term number one, Democrats had a 63-point advantage. That is absolutely fallen. Look at where it is now. A double-digit shift away. Democrats, of course, still have the advantage, but it's a 12-point shift to the Republican Party. And I look back through Gallup's records. They sent me their records. And this, in fact, lead that Democrats have is actually smaller than any lead from 2006 to 2021. So Democrats are leading. But again, we're talking about chipping away. Republicans are chipping away at this long-term advantage that Democrats have had among African Americans. We see it in terms of Trump's approval rating, and we even see it to a wider degree among the party ID margin, where all of a sudden there are a number of African Americans who are walking away from the Democratic Party and a number of them who are walking into the Republican tent.
That is very interesting looking at that past Gallup information.
Yeah.
What does this mean for the race for control in Congress?
Okay, so you see this right here. You see this 51-point advantage that Democrats have, significantly less than you see that 63-point advantage. And what we will note was back in 2024, right, Donald Trump put in a historically strong performance among African Americans. Democrats performed the worst in a generation. Have they gained any of that coalition back from where they fell down to in 2024? But take a look here. Okay. Choice for election among African Americans. Kamala Harris was leading amongst that group in the pre-election polling by 63 points. Are Democrats gaining back any of that ground? It's a 62-point advantage now. Republicans are holding on to the gains that they made among African Americans in 2024. Republicans are gaining among African Americans. They are chipping away at that long-term advantage. The Donald Trump-led Republican Party is making gains among African Americans that we simply put have not seen the Republican Party make in a generation.
Fascinating. Good to see you, Harry. Thanks so much for putting it together.
All right, so who knows? Harry here definitely voted for Trump in 2024. There's no doubt in my mind. Oh, this is just garlic for the vampires at CNN. They have to hate Harry. Harry is not allowed to sit with everyone else on the lunch breaks. So this is the summary of all this, guys. To get this all done, this is a great summary of this whole thing. Nobody is telling you the real story of the SCOTUS voting rights ruling. Yes, the court ruled 6-3. Yes, race-based districting is now unconstitutional. Yes, Louisiana's map got thrown out. But here's the part everyone is missing. Democrats don't have a House majority. Without those court-ordered maps, a dozen of their current seats sit in districts that only exist because federal courts force states to draw them. From Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, everyone has at least one Democrat seat in a court-created black majority district. Their House margin is 4 seats. SCOTUS just made 12 of their 213 seats legally redrawable. Republican-led legislators don't need new voters. They need a redistricting committee in a Tuesday afternoon. If race-based districts are unconstitutional, then Louisiana redraws. If Louisiana redraws, then Alabama redraws, and the rest of the states follow. If every southern state redraws, the Democrat House majority was a 60-year courtroom artifact, not an election result. That's what nobody is saying out loud. The 2026 midterms were just decided 6-3, 6 months before Election Day. If you're not following me, you're finding out more about this 40 hours late. Then, okay, he's just self-promoting there. So we're going to find out what happens here, guys, because like we said, we saw in that CNN clip, can they, because some of these states have started voting, unfortunately, because of fucking early voting, because of course, are they able to cancel these and get this done now? We're going to find out. But like we played at the intro of the main event here, fam, this is absolutely spot on. Absolutely. You gotta love it. So, where does this leave us, fam? Where does this leave us? Lots of big wins coming. Lots of big wins coming. And fam, I want to give credit, guys. I got to give credit here. I got to give credit. Speaker Johnson, I think he may have graduated from Little Dick Johnson to Big Dick Johnson. He got another big piece of legislation through the House, the Farm Bill, which is kicking foreigners off our farmlands they've been buying it up, trying to do everything they can to get close to military installations. Dude has been working the fucking House like a machine. When's the last time we bitched about the House, guys? When's the last time we bitched about it? It's been a long-ass time. And Johnson here heard about all this, and he's super confident the midterms will be in MAGA's hands. That's what he had to say.
Afternoon, everybody. Despite unrelenting predictions from many of you today in the press that we would fail this week, we did exactly the opposite. I'm really glad to tell you that House Republicans pulled together and delivered some major pieces of legislation and huge priorities for the country in the last few days. Let me give you a couple of examples. We passed the Farm Bill, as you know, a major achievement, delivering real relief and certainty for our rural America, for all Americans. But this is the first time Congress has done that since 2018. It's been quite a while, but we got it done. We also made certain that the House is going to be able to have an up or down vote on a date certain on the E15 issue, which is, is a big priority for a lot of our members here in the chamber. And most importantly of all the things we got done this week, we got the budget resolution passed. This is very, very important because that will ensure that border security and immigration enforcement will continue today and well into the future, despite Democrat attempts to reopen our borders and protect criminal illegal aliens from removal. The net result of passing our reconciliation bill is that ICE and CBP are funded for 3 years.
Fix the audio.
Democrats got absolutely nothing for their political charade and shenanigans out of that.
There we go.
We repeatedly offered in good
Dems.
faith, I want to point out, remind everybody to negotiate on funding these agencies. But ultimately, the sad and actually shocking truth is there's not a Democrat in the House or the Senate that believes border security and immigration enforcement should exist at all. By word and deed, Democrats have made clear their desire to defund both of those critical functions of our government. We also passed the FISA reauthorization to ensure that the administration is armed with the best possible intelligence to continue eliminating terrorists and defending our homeland. We pray that the Senate can now pass our FISA bill as quickly as possible, and they're deliberating over that right now. Now, I just want to say this. Sometimes the process around here is cumbersome. That's the way this works. But in spite of our razor-thin, historically small majority, House Republicans continue to deliver for the American people. We will continue to do that for the remainder of the year, and that is a large reason why we are going to win the midterms so that the grown-ups can stay in charge here. Take a few questions.
Gotta say, guys, and I know, I get it. That's the House. Thune is a giant, cancerous piece of shit. I can't stand Thune. I hate his fucking face. He's a lying snake. He's a rhino. He's doing nothing to get the Save America Act through. Absolutely fucking nothing. And I keep seeing Johnson work the House like a machine. That's what I'm seeing, guys. Because the thing is, I know people say, well, it doesn't matter, Scott. It's got to go through the Senate. I understand that. I get it. But you know what I like mentally? I can erase the fact that we don't have to worry about Johnson. We don't have to worry about him being another blockade. That's what I like about Johnson right now. Have you heard Trump say anything about this, dude? Not a word. Not a word. So I gotta say, I didn't know if it could happen. Right now, it's Big Dick Johnson. He's doing great. He's doing great. And he's confident about the midterms because, guys, he said it. The messaging is on point. The Democrats are all about open borders, no immigration, nothing. Why open borders? The party's not changing. They're not changing their ways. And this is also... Okay, hold on. Some breaking news here, guys, on Louisiana. 1 second. Let's just see what happened. There's some lawfare going on right now. Louisiana has just been blocked by a court from carrying out congressional Oh, shit. We just got our answer, fam. This is fresh out the oven. Wow. Here we go. Breaking news.
We do from the U.S. Supreme Court. We've been waiting months for this decision, okay?
Every week.
Yes, there was a question before the court as to whether or not a state law in Louisiana intentionally created a second majority-minority congressional district in violation of the 14th or 15th Amendment. Decision. Shannon Bream is now live.
Okay, so this at first blush here is a win for the plaintiffs who were not.
Okay, this is why I hate these accounts, guys. These fucking influencer accounts. That is an old Fox News clip, and they attach it to get fucking retards like me to keep clicking their shit. This is being reported from Eric Daughtry. Louisiana has just been blocked by a court from carrying out congressional elections using this racially gerrymandered and abomination of a map that favors Democrats. Louisiana Republicans must now carry out plans for a new map. So, I'm not sure where he's getting that from, but he's usually spot on. And that would tell me that the elections that are happening this Saturday are going to end up, I guess, getting canceled. We'll find out. We'll find out. What I was saying before, guys, this party's not changing. This party is not changing. And they feel, some of these people are so confident that they're going to carry on this communist, country-destroying ideology. And every once in a while, I'll play a Bill Maher clip, and I can't stand Bill Maher, but I thought this was a great example of the modern-day woke liberal. And Bill Maher gives him some reality checks here about this is why Kamala Harris lost. Just listen to this shit.
You need to be checked. People need to be checked.
I think they'll be...
including your little girl.
Okay.
She needs to be checked. I don't know what...
Fuck that bitch. Fuck that little bitch with her black friends and trans friends and not even understanding. She doesn't know.
Wait, she has trans friends in third grade?
Yeah.
Trans friends in third grade, guys. I can't even imagine, guys, being in elementary school and there's tranny kids. What the actual fuck is going on in some parts of these countries, guys?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, they know they're trans in third grade.
I knew one of her friends. I knew when he was a girl.
How old?
I think just turned 9. And
my oldest, guys, is 8 years old. We'll be 9 this year. Where the fuck are they even getting these ideas that they could be possibly like what? How is this even a thing? How is this in their minds? How is this in their atmosphere? Guys, I'd be mortified if Liam ever came up to me and said anything even close to this. It never happened. 9 years old?
And is just the coolest kid.
Oh, yeah, so cool.
I don't, I think...
Boy to girl, girl to boy?
Girl to boy.
Girl to boy, okay.
And she has another very close friend who's not in this school, but who's boy to girl at 3.
But girl to boy,
3 years old. They're all friends, guys. 3 years old. 3. My little Luna's 2. Innocent as can be. I hate these people, man. This is so demonic. It enrages me.
I mean, I knew somebody who said to me, actually more than one person who said to me, a woman said, you know, I was what they called a tomboy. If I was alive now and acted the way I did then, that's what they would have done to me.
Well, nobody's doing this to her.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
literally, nobody is doing this to her.
How old?
She is, or he is, either.
Look, they can't even get it right. These fucking idiots they can't even get the pronouns right.
Or 8 or I think 9.
Okay, then somebody is doing something because 8 or 9-year-olds can't.
No, you know what they're doing?
Can't do anything on their own.
No, they're buying them boys' clothes.
Well, then they're doing something. They're doing.
Sure. Yes, you're right. They're buying them boys' clothes
and telling them you're a boy now.
No, they're not telling them. They're just agreeing with. They're like going.
Well, they're
okay,
agreeing
honey.
with an 8-year-old because when has their judgment ever been off at 8?
You knew
Anyway,
you weren't gay, right?
That's.
It's not different.
It is different.
No, it isn't.
It's okay. Good luck with President Vance. Because, as I always say to my woke friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
I want you guys to hear that because he's not wrong right there. We all voted for Kamala.
It's different.
No, it isn't.
It's okay. Good luck with President Vance. Because, as I always say to my woke friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost. And this is a case of that.
Wait, what?
We voted for the same person.
Right.
You're just why she lost. Because America hears this and they're going to go, Bill's right. 8-year-olds can't really make decisions on their own like this. That's what most people are going to say. And this is where the Democrats are with David Cross living in Brooklyn, with Mandami Loving. And this is why, we're going to vote for J.D. Vance. And that's
I don't think
that's
it's
America in a nutshell.
I don't.
Doesn't mean I don't love you.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
They're not going to change, guys. The extremist part of the left is the party now. They're all about assassinations. They're all about violence. They're all about transing your kids. They will take your kids away. The state will raise your kids. And they'll turn them into non-breeding human beings and end your bloodline and kill them off and make them part of the machine. It is so crazy. And I've been listening to a lot of sermons the last few months, and being a godly father is the best way that I can be. And I never, until I heard some really godly preachers speak about it, guys, I had no idea like the ramifications of parenting on kids and setting the right example for how they grow up, obviously, but who they decide to marry and who they decide to spend the rest of their lives with as a partner to make offspring with, how important that is. And you have to be aligned spiritually, more importantly than anything, because it will dictate everything. And the moment that you're not aligned and you go down the path of the world and you do all this bad shit, it has ramifications to destroy your bloodline. And I don't think I was ever taught like how serious that was, and hearing it and seeing what the cancer of woke is to a nation and seeing what it has done to little kids and families. It needs to be destroyed, guys. It needs to be destroyed. And the rhetoric around it's not going to change. Because once you start transing the kids, you're never going to get a nicey nice approach, at least not from me. If I was around anybody that was about that ideology, I would call them the fuck out right then and there. And I would immediately make them feel uncomfortable to the point where they did not want to be around, to the point where they leave or I leave. I want nothing to do with these people. And I want my kids to never be around anything close to what you're seeing with this cancer that's out there. None of it. And this party is not changing. It's not changing. That's why this shit's so important, guys. It's so important. Because really, do we really want to end up like Michael Obama, getting dominated by Michael Obama? Do we really, is this what we want for our kids, guys? Because this is the Democrat Party right now.
Ouch! Ouch!
Just relax, you little bitch.
Ouch. Ouch.
Just relax, you little bitch.
Yeah. Is that what we want, guys, for our kids? Absolutely fucking not. All right, guys, it's time to move over to Pill. We went a little bit over yesterday, guys. We got to go exclusive as we always do on Rumble, Kick, X, YouTube. Thank you all for being here as per usual. Thank you all so much. The rest of the show, fam, you're not going to miss it. Updates in Iran. Trump wins. And we're going to get into this crazy fucking story. Crazy story about this JP Morgan executive drugging her junior assistant and he's married, making him her sex slave, and the memes that surrounded it on the internet today. It is pure internet gold. We'll see you guys over on pill.net, guys. Love you. Thank you. Share, subscribe, like before heading out. Please go to Pill. It takes 20 seconds. It's super easy. We'll see you guys over on pill.net. Goodbye, my friends.